What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Code DC, UPenn's finest. Chris Coulter, CB Coulter Boy is back. We got another great episode for you guys today. Greatest time of year. It ain't Christmas, ain't NFL playoffs, ain't summer. Well, it's almost there, but NBA playoffs are here. We're absolutely ecstatic to talk about it. Obviously, we're getting our first round predictions out today. Some games have already happened. I don't know about these guys, but my picks haven't changed, so this will be relatively evergreen. But then before we get into those East-West predictions, whatnot, Chris had an amazing idea for us that we're going to run today. We're going to make an all eyes on you team, basically like 5 or 6 guys that we each think like, these playoffs are going to be huge for you, whether it's payday, whether it's expectations, whether it's winning that championship. For whatever reason, all eyes are on you. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications so you don't miss a single upload from any of the great shows on this network. And then audio listeners, leave a like, follow the show, 5-star review, download the episode, all the good stuff. But let's swing it to Danny for Summits and Plummets, of course.
Yeah. This weather, man. How about it?
I tanned.
75 degrees every day this week.
I got my arms burned.
Man, it's a beautiful sight.
It really is. It really is.
I'm not wearing jackets to work. We're walking into work and we're wearing T-shirts.
Khaki shorts.
No shorts to work for us, unfortunately.
Really? You can't even wear khaki shorts?
Nah. We're not going to a golf course.
Fairs.
You wear jeans.
I think I'd rather just wear the khakis or the dress pants.
Yeah, I agree. You got to be styling and profiling, right? So
you getting to dress up every day for work, I'm a little envious. I would love to do that.
I wore this to work. This is clean. This is clean.
Yes, that's a nice shirt. I like that.
But anyway, beautiful weather. Can't complain. It appears that spring has sprung in the Philadelphia region, and that's also part of my plummet. Allergy season. Whoever invented that needs to die.
Who invented allergies? Wow.
Yeah, pollen, man. Who said, yeah, the stuff that makes you that comes around every spring? Well, half of America is going to be allergic to that.
Yeah, it's a tough sight. Luckily, I don't have to deal with that, but I'll be safe. That's funny. Like my dad got allergies. Giovanni got allergies. Not me though.
I said half of America does.
Fairs. Half of the men in our family do.
Not fun, dude. Your eyes swell, your throat swells, you got a runny nose, and people are like, oh, you're sick. But like, nope, just allergic to the air.
Just allergic to the planet I was raised on. But we can go to Chris for his Summits and Plummets.
I think I'm calling it plummet. I think I am officially going to not renew my Mavs tickets because the dude lied to me. I cannot add a ticket like I thought. So I was.
Daryl Morey, you're a liar.
Yes, literally, Daryl Morey, you're a liar. I wish I was in front of China so I could tell him, just like James Harden did. But since the show is global, maybe they do see it. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to renew my tickets. He lied to me. They lied to me, and I thought I was going to be able to renew and get another seat, but I probably won't. But I'm still going to the event, and just in case I can, then I might. But that's a probable plummet because I do want to go. Double plummet, actually. And it's not even been that bad of a week. It's just this was kind of trash. I was trying to go see Shohei when they played the Rangers. Of course, the game that I picked to go to, he was on paternity leave. I had no idea he was going to be back the next day. So, plummet. I didn't go to the game. So I'm like, oh, he's probably going to be out the whole series. So I didn't even look at tickets. I looked back the next day. He's playing. So, GG's to me. I have to wait till they swing back.
That's rough. I remember me and Danny at like the start of this our senior year semester for college.
It was.
Yeah, Shohei was in town. We went to go see it. Bryce hit his 300th home run, and the Phillies absolutely blew it. Like, it would have been the perfect day, but got like a good tan and everything. Oh my God, it was great. But
craziest thing, Shohei. There's 2 stadiums in MLB Shohei's not at a home run at. It's Citizens Bank Park and the Red Stadium.
Dang. I feel like Citizens Bank would be relatively. Isn't Citizens Bank like one of those stadiums? Like it's like, oh, this would have been a home run in It's usually one of like the first 4 or 5.
Yep. But the thing is, Shohei just stinks against the Phillies.
Which is good for y'all.
Because we got too many demons coming out. You know.
They got Jesus on our side.
Exactly. We do have Jesus. Shout out to him.
He's
I'll say
risen.
for my summit, I'm gonna have to stick with Danny. Like I was outside like earlier today. Me and my dogs just sat in the sun for like 45 minutes.
Good
It
for
was
the soul. Good for the mind.
absolutely wonderful. It was great. If I had to give a plummet, AJ Brown got his car stolen.
Yeah,
It's just like we're gonna lose one of these guys over this. Like y'all need to chill.
Why we gotta? This happened in common in Philly.
CJ Gardner-Johnson got his car stolen a
That's
couple
what I'm
years back.
saying.
Yeah, it's just like now. Look, when someone was like, "Yeah," they said Big Dom took care of it. I'm like, okay. I used to think like, okay, he just has some like intimidation factor. He has good leadership skills to get like everybody on the same page. Because like we don't win this Super Bowl without Big Dom. I'm like, okay. Now AJ gets his car stolen, and it's okay. Big Dom is the reason he got it back. No, he has mafia ties. Like,
What do you mean? What do you mean? Is that a question? He's definitely
yeah, no.
mafia
It was just like it was a suspicion, I guess you could say. Maybe I was
His
like
name is Big
90%.
Dom.
I know, but I'm like, there's no way like Howie Roseman is working with the mafia, right? Like,
yes,
Jewish
mean,
man
all the good
working
owners
with the
are
mafia.
tied in.
Bro, come on. Jewish man from New York working with the mafia?
Makes sense.
Question.
Yeah,
check mark.
you know, it was hiding in plain sight. Perhaps I'm the fool, but don't pity the fool. But yeah, that's good thing Big Dom's on our side. The Ravens need to get one of their own Big Doms.
We do. I'm already going to try out for it. So
You're gonna go try out for the.
swole.
What is the Big Dom role? Reinforcer,
I go,
bodyguard.
Yeah, then I got to get into a fight with
Buddha.
someone.
Like,
Yeah.
what is he? I'm not sure, but all that said, we can get into these all eyes on you team. So again, like I said, these can be anybody. These playoffs that we deem like just need to step it up, whether it's they got a big payday coming, they could be put on the trade block. They just need to play well in the playoffs, whatever it may be. Chris, how many names did you have written up?
Oh, I had a bunch, but I think I kept it to 5 because I was trying to make it like a team. So I think I
had 6 because I have
Oh, we'll
6
do a
because the
6-man
last
then.
slot is essentially the same guy
Person? Yeah.
in a way. I
I think we do 6, do 5, and then do a 6-man. Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, you want to start with your first one since this was your idea? Your
Oh
brilliant
yes.
Go ahead, get us started.
Thank you for gassing. I appreciate that. So the first person on my list is Jalen Green. And the reason I have Jalen Green on my list is because I'm not saying this like make a break for his career like that. Like he's under 25. Obviously, I don't think he's make a break. But I think it is make a break if they fizzle out, especially in this first series and they don't get past it. He's so good and his potential is so high. He's already paid. He could be the main piece in a trade to get a Kevin Durant or Devin Booker, whatever that upgrade at that position will be. So I think it's an audition for him to be able to keep that spot as the number 1 scorer on the Rockets. I would say Şengün's probably the best player. But I think Jalen Green's obviously number 1 scoring option. So I think this is his like prove it time to see if, hey, can you be that Devin Booker light? Like, are you going to be a 27-point per game scorer when we need you? Or do we have to go get one while we still have Amin Şengün under these pretty good deals, Jabari Smith, these type of guys? So
I like that. By the time this episode releases, I believe most series would have played their second game except for Jalen Green and his Rockets. And then the Celtics and the Magic series will not play their second game. It's funny you mentioned that. It's that statement is even more correct than ever after game 1 because Jalen Green is a sporadic dude. He's a primarily athletic jump shooter. The consistency isn't going to be there. So law of averages says hopefully he'll get it back at some point this series, but like pressure's on game 2. Like Şengün played good.
I got a funny thing to tell you. It's funny thing to say about that. I think if Jalen Green can be Zach LaVine level efficient, then that'd be good enough. And I know that sounds like very particular, but as you said, jump shooter, athletic. LaVine's efficient enough to be a second guy on a championship team. Like not to be your first, but he'll be 46% from the field, 36 from three. Like that's decent enough. Jalen Green is like 42 and 33, so he's just so much more inconsistent. I think if he can be Levine level, as far as consistency, I think that'd be suffice.
I feel like Zach LaVine wouldn't be in the world because Zach LaVine's, I think, a much better shooter
100%.
From the long ball. And then, like when Jalen Green gets hot, or AKA March Jalen Green, like it's a good player. Like this is like, okay, top 10 shooting guard, like really good. When LaVine gets hot, I promise you,
Top
we
5.
might be looking at one of the greatest to ever do it.
Not for real.
Because you remember that game against Charlotte a couple years back?
He's got hot and just started making every three.
Logo three, they steal it. He runs out to the 3-point line, fade away. Like it was unreal. But I get what you mean by that. If he could,
bad FIBA basketball player though.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, yes.
A good portion of NBA is terrible in FIBA, honestly. A good portion.
Zach LaVine's, when he was on that 2020 team or 2021 team, I'm gonna be honest. I think the only people that scored in double digits, which is pretty normal, but it was like Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum. I think Dame was averaging like 11, something like that. Like I can point out maybe like 5 or 6 dudes who actually played good in that run, but
that team has so many random players on it. Like it was just not.
I mean, Drew Holiday was there, who essentially turned himself into an essential for the team.
He's a glue.
He turned himself into an essential for Team USA. Devin Booker, same thing, for the non-traditional reasons.
Because Drew Holiday at this stage of his career is Super Saiyan Josh Hart.
He really is. I mean, they're not as good as rebounding, but like defending bigs, hounding, like he can hound smaller guards and bother bigs. Yep. So he's special to me. He's very special to me. I love Marcus Smart, but he'll never be Drew Holiday in my eyes. I'm sorry.
Nope. I love Marcus Smart too.
Danny, did you want to go with your first name on the All Eyes on You team, or do you want me to give my first name out? Okay. Well, the first name I wanted to list out, I'm gonna get this guy out the way early. Jaylen Brown, second option on a championship team, Finals MVP, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Why on God's green earth would he be on the All Eyes on You team? Well, I have my reasoning. The Celtics are gonna get expensive fast. They already are. And all the advanced analytics, all the on-off numbers are saying, wow, we're really good when Tatum's out there and you're not. But that's not necessarily to say the end all be all is to split them up, because I don't think that's the case, because Jaylen Brown was the key ingredient in winning the championship last year with his the defense they allowed him to play on Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. He guarded both of them a substantial amount. Plus, with this knee injury over the past month or so, the Celtics, the topic's been, oh, wow, the Celtics are peaking at the right time. And then Jaylen Brown also isn't on the court for this. So it's, it worries me for his PR. So I would say go out there, do your thing. You got the perfect opportunity tomorrow, because Jason Tatum is doubtful with the wrist injury that people said he was flopping or over-exaggerating. Well, now he's about to miss his first career playoff game, so screw you guys. But he has a chance to go out tomorrow. He hasn't had to play number one option hoops since Game 7 in 2023. That crushed my soul. But we'll see how he does. He probably won't be the primary playmaker. They're probably going to give that up to Drew Holiday, which is, I think, the right call. But look, you're probably going to get 20-plus shots. Let's see how you do and for the foreseeable future, so you don't end up on the market, because I would hate to see it.
I'd be happy to see it.
Of course you would. Okay.
And me, Daniel. And me.
All right. What's up with
Send him over there to be Kendrick Nunn's running mate if you have to.
Send him to Charlotte.
Get Jason Tatum's biggest hater away from him.
Yo, him and LaMelo.
Him and LaMelo.
See, I'm going backwards.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, yeah, he's like a cooler, doesn't put his hands on women, Miles Bridges. Yeah, that could work. Jaylen Brown's a way better scorer too, but
yeah.
How about you give us Embiid, and then we're going to take a trip to Germany, and we'll give you Jaylen Brown. But give us Embiid, plus pay for our flight to Germany for wizardry that we're going to do to his name.
If you give us Jaylen Brown, we will gladly give you Embiid.
Like, they would probably offer that. Like, hey, Jaylen for Joel? Thoughts?
Hey, you'd make me happy, because that would do Derek, Drew, Jason Tatum, puts Kristaps more naturally at the 4, JT more natural at the 3. Big fella.
Dare I
Five.
say Embiid wins another MVP on that team before Tatum does?
Oh no, he's walking on that team and he's go sit in that corner, pal. Get ready for the Tatum drive and kick, baby.
He might win.
I told you, bro. When I told you
we're
we're the new LeBron, I mean it in every way. Star players, you come in here and you get in that corner.
Oh yeah. Well,
Turn it and beat it, a Chris Bosh.
That's insane.
Go ahead, Danny. Give your first name.
All eyes on you, Mr. New York Nick. Karl Anthony Towns.
Ooh.
Okay. That's like the one Nick I don't have on here, but okay.
Maybe it's a little retrospective, looking at how he played in the game too. I think there's a lot of questions out about him. About can Cat be on a championship level team?
Or be the number 2 on a championship team at the very least.
Man, there's an argument he's won. He's not won though. But
no, he's not one. He's not one. The way the Knicks stem their playoff offense, I get where you're coming from, but like for 42 minutes, Jalen Brunson is just going to look to score. So what does that leave Cat? I guess he either has to step up defensively or just make the most of his opportunity. I like the pick though.
Yeah, it's a very interesting player here.
Here, let's Serpentine. Go with your just go with your next guy, and I'll go with my next, and we'll swing it to Chris.
Yeah, my next guy is another very similar. It's Jaren Jackson Jr.
That's a hell of a pick.
And it's look, no one gave him a shot against the Thunder. I mean, no one really cares to give him a shot. It doesn't matter. But you have to show some fight, right? Your coach just got fired. You have a team. You like the team is still decent. Like you don't got no team.
The team was like the 2 seed at the All-Star break.
It was, and I think Jaren Jackson gets shipped out this offseason if the series goes bad. To be completely honest, I think they go a complete different direction and try to build around Ja entirely.
I don't think it's a bad one. They're not winning this series whatsoever. Just
no.
Spoil and I know you agree. But I guess you've been the number 1 option on offense all year. Your coach gets fired. And not saying it's your fault, but that's kind of why he got fired, because you were the number 1 option. So I don't know. It's kind of like, can you still uphold that responsibility with a new coach? Can you at least match your production with Ja getting more touches? I don't hate that one at all. I would have put Ja on here had this whole regular season just went differently. Like if Ja was coming back, getting the same touches he was getting, running the offense, walking into the playoffs, averaging 27 a game like he was back in 2022, where he was a true MVP candidate at a point in the season. I'm like, all right, you gotta win me some. You gotta win me a playoff series, or 2. Get me to the conference finals. But I kind of shift that. I could see why we can shift that pressure over. I already know Chris licking his chops. Oh, I did want to ask Chris this. Kendrick Perkins said Jaren Jackson Jr. not a top 10 big. That is a very ambiguous word, because once we say big,
Giannis counts.
Embiid
counts healthy.
Kristaps, AD.
LeBron might count.
AD's a center now.
Yeah, AD's a center now.
LeBron could count these days.
Is Kevin Durant a big, or is he a swing? Because he's 6'11". He's a swing.
You could ask the same thing about Jason Tatum. Is Jason Tatum a big, or is he a wing? Like,
same.
I think they're including power forwards.
I think they're wings. They're big, they're smaller power forwards. But I will say, I think he's probably right on the cusp of 10. I'd have Towns, Jokic, Embiid, AD over him off the top of my head. I also would have healthy Porzingis, Sabonis, and Bam, both of them. Even though I'm not huge fans of him, I'm more fans of him than JJJ.
You say Şengün?
Man, I like Bam.
They're going there too,
bro. No, I don't think Şengün's better than JJJ.
Well, Şengün's better than Bam, but you like Bam more than JJJ. Talking this season alone, Bam's body of work is entirely different than Şengün's.
It is. I like Bam's defensive impact more.
He doesn't do nearly enough on offense to make up for it, in my humble opinion. Also, he ain't never punch on Draymond. So
Good job, boy. Good job, Papa.
what's Cedar do?
Oh, sorry. I thought I was muted. My bad. He went to the pad. I didn't have time to take him out. He was
Nah, we
my
good.
bad.
This is a call for celebration. So
Sorry.
with my
I'm
next
happy about that.
trick, I'm going to slander Jalen Brunson.
Oh, perfect.
Well, so Jalen Brunson, we were kind of talking about this earlier. He didn't certainly make me a bigger fan last night. Foul baiting is a skill, and everyone can agree on that. But I think we draw the line at like
What he was doing?
Yeah, like, are you even trying to score? He got fouled and did this. Like I don't think it was. I think he was trying to insinuate to the ref, like, oh, like that's 3 free throws, but it almost looked like a celebration. It's like you're jumping for joy that you're going to the
Looked like a
line. It's just
celebration to me.
unbearable. That aside, though, look, they brought you in. They paid OG. They brought your best friend in from college. They brought you Karl Anthony Towns, one of the premier centers in the NBA, and y'all won one more regular season game. You didn't win a single game against Cleveland, Boston, LA, Oklahoma City. You got to get me to the conference finals, or there's going to be changes. Also, pressure's on you because you're going to look like the biggest idiot in the world for passing up on an extra $100 million as an aging smaller guard. Isaiah Thomas set the precedent not even 8 years ago. Take your money because you're little. They love you now. They ain't going to love you in a couple years when your body starts to break down as a little guy. But pressure's on. Get me to at least the conference finals. I ain't saying you got to win a ring, even though that should be your goal. But me personally, they got you the goods. So go do it.
Oh, I forgot it was my turn. I have JJJ on my list too, so I'll skip him. I did not have Brunson or Towns. I had another Nick. I had Mikal Bridges, and the reason I had is because OG is so much better at everything Mikal Bridges is supposed to be able to do, and it costs less. And I think the worst part about it is when you look up and you realize they traded 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges when players like Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Giannis can possibly be, even Jaylen Brown can possibly be available. It's asinine at this point because of what you didn't trade that for 12 points a game and that nonsense. No nonsense. And I think what's overrated is his defense, only because like 2 or 3 years ago when he wasn't ever a number one option, he gave that effort. He doesn't give that same effort. He still plays good defense, but he doesn't give that same effort. So I have him on the all eyes on YouTube just on the simple fact that I'm not saying he could be a main piece again because we already showed that that's not what he is, a main piece in the trade. But like the Celtics are getting very expensive. The Knicks will too, because Josh Hart needs an extension at some point. I think this year. I'm almost sure Josh Hart needs an extension this summer, maybe. So it's like when that time comes, Mitchell Robinson's almost up. There's gonna be some decisions to make, and I think Mikal Bridges will be the one to go because I would think out of the 3 of Hart, Anunoby, and Bridges, Anunoby and Hart will be the 2 to keep. So I think it's more of a prove-it for him too. So that's why I have him on the all eyes on your team.
Yeah. I have Mikal on my team. And the fall from grace. You know the saying, Crest of 300 looks like a phantom till a phantom pull up. It's I don't want to say the opposite, but like main example, Jason Tatum, Cade Cunningham, their primary defenders when playing New York is OG Anunoby. And he is such a hound, and they let him be so physical. He is so unbelievably like good on defense. Those two switch on to Mikal. They're like, I will go at Mikal Bridges than have to spend a second more with that guy. And not only that, I can't speak so far on Cade's numbers against Mikal. I don't necessarily know him off the top of my head right now. Jason Tatum busts Mikal's ass all the time. It's bad. And that wasn't like that. That wasn't the case, some years ago when he was in Suns, like you said. Like, I don't know. He's when OG's on the team, it just makes Mikal so expendable, like you said. So, we can go start. Did you have another guy? Because I know we all had some repeats.
Yeah. I
Go
definitely
ahead.
do. Another one I had is a Celtic, and his name is Drew Holiday, and this is the reason why. My love for Drew Holiday, for what I just said, is because he can do everything. Now, with the team getting expensive, very expensive, I mean, it almost makes sense to let the oldest guy, be the one to go. But Drew Holiday, in a sense, not saying he hasn't proven himself because he has, but Drew can still say at 35, 36, I can still be that glue guy that you need. Not necessarily over Derek White, but I can do the same thing. And you probably get more back for Derek White than a Drew Holiday. So in my eyes, I think this could be a stay on the Celtics audition for Drew Holiday. Not saying because other teams are going to want him. You're going to get something for him. But I think this would be the time where he can actually say, hey, even at this older age, I can still be that. And you can move, let's say, Derek White, who would get you more back because he's younger and does pretty much the same thing. So I haven't one. I know it could be maybe controversial, but that's my reason why.
I don't think it's controversial at all, especially with his contract. It's possible, for sure. He'd probably be the first guy on the chopping block if things need to be
just off age alone.
maneuvered. Yeah, or if we wanted to hit up Nico Harrison, see if is AD for sale. We'll do that swap. Drew for AD. Yep.
Yeah.
You got to add in Cornette, unfortunately.
Look, just know the GMs of my favorite teams are the baddest MFers in sports. Okay, Brad Stevens and Howie Roseman, craziest people in sports.
They said they got to call up Brad Stevens.
But
they said they got to call up Brad Stevens to be the Pope, but they know he's gonna say no. You got to ask him.
We should. Let's make Big Dom the Pope. Yeah. World peace coming soon. But I do like the Drew one. I'm going to my next one. I'll start with the least controversial of the two for this turn. I'll go Donovan Mitchell. This is the best iteration of the Cavs that you've been on. The squad's healthy. You're certainly losing Ty Jerome next year. Paydays are coming up, whatnot. You might have to choose between players. This is just the time to get to that conference finals, get to that finals. You've been the second best team in basketball all year, record wise.
Jerome, you are a Chicago Bull.
Chill, don't play now. I think Chicago would love Ty Jerome.
They would,
but they also got paid Josh Giddey. So
unfortunately, they have Giddey and Kobe White, so Ty Jerome will have to find somewhere else to go.
Kobe White gonna dip.
Ty Jerome needs to be a Magic. Out of all that crap they were talking, they actually need Ty Jerome. So I would like him as a Magic, honestly.
Yeah,
that's just me.
Orlando, essentially, for Donovan Mitchell, we got to get to that conference finals, baby. We got to do it. This is the year. Your coach is a candidate for coach of the year. You got a DPOY on your team. Darius Garland has never been more back in his life. Jared Allen's playing great, all-star level ball. And you're playing one of the best years of your career. Maybe not averaging the most points per game you've ever averaged, but the most you've seemed comfortable, I would say. So he's on my list. He's on my list. And then Danny.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Ooh, okay.
By the looks of it, they're getting 4-0. They're getting swept.
And 4-0 is sad. Damn, no Grace. No Dame Grace.
They can get some grace all they want, but by the looks of it, this team is. I know it's a team sport. Giannis dropped 35, but the eyes are on Giannis because this is Giannis's Bucks. This isn't Dame's Bucks. This is Giannis's team, right? Think he might ask out if it goes that bad again.
So would the eyes be on Giannis or everyone but Giannis?
It's like,
or maybe our eyes are on Giannis for the pending result.
Yeah, your eyes are
not necessarily
on Giannis,
pressure. We're just
exactly
Giannis. We're just staring respectfully.
We're seeing you dropping 40 in losses, and we know that you deserve better than Kyle Kuzma and Bobby Portis.
I have two notes. One, it's going to be hilarious when this drops and the series is 1-1. Hope you know.
I know it's hilarious.
Respect Dame, baby.
Respect
Superhuman, they're
Halliburton
saying.
being trash. That's what it is. Respect that. Respect that.
Halliburton not having his strongest game and the Pacers blowing them out was rough. It's just a role player mismatch, but it's just like, you know what? They got the best two players in the series. Let's rock.
They got
Malcolm Brogdon fight all over again.
Dude, they have
Bucks versus Pacers.
They have every
Malcolm
role guy.
Brogdon. I don't think that's again, eyes are not necessarily pressure. Giannis certainly hasn't won a playoff game since 2022, and he won it because of Drew Holiday owning Marcus Smart. But that was rough. That what's the opposite of I cooked for the whole day? I mourned for the whole day, bro. That was horrible. But I don't think it's a bad one. If they lose, yes, things are certainly shaking up. Even if they win, things might shake up because they'll have to go against the Cavs next series. So yeah, I don't hate that one. Did you have anyone else on your list?
Yeah, it's Kawhi Leonard.
Okay.
And I think we're starting to see it last night. He dropped 15 and 19, dropped 35 plus points. It looked like a vintage Kawhi Leonard game. And
to be honest, that's the best game Kawhi's ever played in his life. I think.
It's probably you can't play much better.
Hard to, right?
Yeah. So like the reality is try not to be retrospective looking at results, but look. The eyes are on the Clippers. It's kind of a now or never. You got like a 34-year-old James Harden. Is he older? He might be older.
Yeah, I think he's 35. I think he'll be 36.
Yeah.
I think
They're an old team. But however old you think the Lakers are, the Clippers are older.
Lakers ain't that old no more. LeBron's probably messing with the average age of the team.
He bringing it up way high.
He probably brings it up like a solid year and a half than what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
I don't hate that one though.
No matter what, Kawhi Leonard, I think some eyes are definitely on him when they're not playing on NBA TV for Game 3.
Yeah. Kawhi, I could see that one. I think more so it's like, okay, well, you're healthy. Now you are expected to perform because healthy Kawhi is a myth at this rate. So I don't hate that one. He wouldn't be on my list just per se. Like I get it. Injuries. He's older. He's kind of one of those people where it's just like, how much higher can you really jump all time realistically at the trajectory you're on? Don't hate it though. Don't hate it. My last one, I'm kind of picking on this guy just because I watched my guy get picked on for relatively the same thing. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And the world will not crumble because if you don't perform these playoffs, which I don't think he will. I don't think he will crumble. I think he will perform. Nothing about his game says it won't translate. Like even the game against the Grizzlies, his typical shots just weren't going in. Like it was a rare bad Shea game, and they won by a gajillion points. So like, who really even cares? But I think they need to get to conference finals. Me personally, I think they really need to get to the finals. I don't really see that big of a threat out west with just how good this team is, and he's going to be on the forefront of the slander if they don't get there. You're 26. Yes, you are. How many playoff series has he played in at this rate? The Warriors with the Clippers, the bubble one against James Harden. He's played against the Pelicans and the Mavericks. So 4 playoff series. It is a team sport, like Danny said about Giannis. But we judge our stars on success. And me personally, it doesn't have to be rings. You just have to be some form of a winner. Like in my eyes, James Harden is a winner. The ring isn't there, but he's a winner. SGA is kind of the same deal. You won playoff series win in your, I think, 7th, 8th season, one of the two. My guy has had playoff success. My guy is a winner even before he got the ring. But it was like, no, you're a playoff choker. Yeah, you're constantly in the Eastern Conference Finals or the Finals, but you suck actually. But I personally won't treat Shea the same way. I just want to see him have better results. I don't want to see that happen to him because it's just not the case. He's too talented to be given foul merchant, regular season merchant. None of that. He's going to win MVP. We're going to get to the finals. He's going to be one of the all-time years. That was the last guy on my list. So
My last one. I get my last one. It's MPJ from the Nuggets. Reason I have him on there is because not just because of the couple bad games. It's just, again, we're talking about teams getting expensive. He may be the expendable guy over there. Like, you want to keep Gordon. I mean, Jokic, obviously, until he gets to LA with Luka or until they link up wherever they link up. Jamal Murray's going to stay. He's under $50 million. Nobody's paying that. I mean, I would be Michael Porter Jr. So I think he has to play his way into at least showing some consistency, at least showing he can do something besides shoot, which last night rebounding, having 14 boards, I think, or 12 boards, however many he had, that's going to help because Jokic can't rebound everything because he's, the center and the contestant sometimes. So I think it's just a big time for him to prove that he's worth the luxury tax spend and worth not getting off of to try to maybe get two guys instead of one. Just having Michael Porter Jr. with that big contract.
Yeah, and it doesn't help about the engaged comments that he was getting.
That was.
I mean,
was crazy.
Rebounds is a great way to back up that you're engaged. So, yeah, I definitely like that one. And again, it's kind of for the same thing with Drew, with Jaylen Brown, maybe even Kristaps. Team's just going to get expensive, and you're going to find your way out if you don't have, 2+ great qualities. Or your contract is completely unbuyable, which I don't want to say Jamal Murray's is. Like, he's just very expensive for a non-All-Star. But pretty sure that's all of our guys. If I'm not, I'm going to double check my list. Yeah, all of our guys. So let's move on to the Eastern Conference playoffs. We can start with the obvious ones, the ones we don't really need to talk too much about. Cavs Heat.
Surprisingly close.
I have Cavs in 4. That 8-10 lead was never budging in my eyes.
No, I agree. It is Cavs in 4, but like I think the Heat are just a team that doesn't lose they don't get blown out by good teams at that often.
I guess we could say that. He got 20 balled, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. They're annoying. Well, we could chalk it up to that. I did see something funny. A Heat Twitter account was like random role players when they play the Heat. I'm like, King Von says end gun violence. You were the originator. You started this. Caleb Martin turned into Michael Jordan for 2 months. I'm not trying to hear that. Oh,
Caleb
it's crazy.
Martin, man. Same guy got shipped to Dallas for a penny.
Yeah. Well, Quentin Grimes ain't a penny. He gonna get paid some pennies though. Remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Cavs in 4, and I have no real recap about Game 1 per se. I mean, Ty Jerome hooped, and he's continuing to show why he's going to get a big payday this offseason.
Yep.
Any words on Cavs Heat?
Nope. No.
Yo, I remember we went to Sixers Cavs, and I was like, "Yo, who's this white guy?" You're like Ty Jerome. I was like, "No way, that's Ty Jerome." I was like, I forgot about Ty Jerome.
Yeah, man. He's all the way here. Let's bump it down to
the better at Virginia. He was so ridiculous at Virginia.
I know, dude. He was so good.
So ridiculous.
Celtics versus Magic.
Celtics in 4.
And the Celtics in 5 games. They're the Magic defense, I thought did a pretty good job. The wings are real. You're good. The defense is real. Like Derek White had his way, Pritchard had his way off the bench, but Brown and Tatum struggled. Tatum went 8 for 22 from the field. Brown went 6 for 14 and only 30 minutes of play. Also say 5. If they were to drop any game, it would be this one coming up tomorrow where they'll be without Jason Tatum. But even so, I know it. Because a sweep is like predicting a sweep, it has to be like a really big mismatch, and like this kind of is. I'll go 5 though. I'm gonna give myself some grace in case of Paulo Franz combined for 80 with another Tatum stinker, perhaps. But yeah, I'll say Celtics in 5.
Yeah, I think I got him in 6 now. I don't know what my prediction was. I think I had him in 6. I think they could drop the next one, but I think the Magic get 1 at home. With or without Tim, I think they get 1. So I would say Celtics and Celtics in 6.
I can't be too mad at that. They could potentially drop 1 and then split the home court on the other way. So not the end all be all. I can't believe Al Horford was the only person with real minutes to be a negative plus minus. Something to note. Let's move to the next series here, which will be our 3-6. I would say all of our favorite series, at least our favorite series in the East. New York Knicks, Detroit Pistons. The series is currently 1-1, so anyone who has any prediction isn't necessarily in the most bias or swinging a certain way because of a game went. My prediction wouldn't change. I'm still going with Knicks in 7 games. Last night was tough. Outside of Brunson, you didn't really get any real offense out of New York, which is disappointing considering they have Karl-Anthony Towns. But I think the fourth quarter, not to say they could be replicable, but it's a sign of just inexperience from Detroit. So I think I'm gonna trust the Knicks' experience. Maybe go get one of these next ones on the road. You come back home, it's 2-2. And then you got to win 2 out of 3, and I think they're capable of doing that. So I'm going to go New York. Could go either way though.
I'm taking the Pistons. Sticking with the Pistons. I had the Pistons in 7. I have no reasoning to say why. Other than
if you want to root for them because they're cool, I was rooting for them last night. They were just pretty
they're cool. And Andre Drummond said #Detroit basketball.
Yep. And they have one of my personal favorite players,
Jalen Durant.
Y'all know, Tobias Harris, the assassin scorer, who I pretty much figured at this rate that everyone would figure out it's all about culture. And when you stick a guy in the corner and say that's your one and only job, why can't you put on more than 5 points? I don't know, because I have only get 10 touches a game. He's hooping. Cade's obviously been one of my favorites for a minute. I love the Thompson twins. Sucks he fouled out, but my logic is telling me Knicks. But I definitely see, a Pistons series.
It's a bad matchup for the Knicks.
I could see that, honestly, with Durant and Reed. Yeah. Reed gave him a really good 11 minutes last night. I went to look at the box score for him. I didn't know he only played 11 minutes because he played good. He played really good last night.
They're too tough for the Knicks.
Usually what he does.
That's funny because the Knicks just used to be too tough for everyone else.
In the 90s. Now they're just
last year they were.
Last year they were too tough for Philly. I think they out toughed Philly, and then they kind of broke down. They broke it down. They broke it down like a car against the Pacers. I don't want to say they weren't tough in that series, but
nah, Chris. The thing is, they tried so hard against Philly. They tried so hard against Philly that they lost their toughness.
That's because it's not real toughness. They were trying to pump Philly just because Philly didn't really have any tough-ish guys. But I get to your point. I get that point. But I will say this though. I think I don't know what my original. I think I picked Pistons in 7, or was it Knicks in 7? And I think it's gonna be.
You said Pistons, I think.
Yeah, I hope so. Because that's my pick. They should be up 2-0 right now. Honestly, if they didn't jag game 1. So yeah, and even if they would have been up 2, I think they still have to win in 7. I think the Knicks is not gonna go away. They're not sweet like that. But I think they win in 7. This will be a really, really tough 7. This will be a really tough.
I like that we think it's 7 regardless.
Yeah, and I think Cade has a top 6 point guard moment to where it's like you had to put me in that category. Kind of like people were glazing Anthony Edwards after his playoff run. I'm not saying that they're gonna make the West Conference Finals, but Anthony Edwards won a playoff series. Like, well, next Michael Jordan, top 3 shooting guard. I think Cade can have one of those to where it's like, all right, we might have had you top 10 PGs. Now you may be top 5. I think he's going to have one of those moments in this series.
I think he had 33 last night. So he's on that trajectory. He had a bad game 1. He, in high school, whenever you got some on your shirt, we'd be like, oh, you got young boy stains. Look, he left the young boy stain right, in game 1. Game 2,
Yo, guess what?
top 6.
He just did his shame. He got shamed by Drake publicly. Now he's good. He's hooping.
Yep. Anyone Drake goes at, they seem to have a good
Shame
time
ritual.
around this time.
Yeah,
Public
shame
Drake
ritual.
shame ritual. But yeah, and through these first 2 games, I mean, it sucks that Thompson fouled out. But he's, it's blocking fouls are a weird one. I think he got 2 blocking fouls for just simply being in a spot before Brunson, which it's unfortunate because I think he's doing a really good job. But now you back it up. What about Jalen Brunson's giving you trouble? He's gonna get you in foul trouble because you're physical and he's the bigger name than you, so he's gonna get the call. Sadly. So we all are in agreement. It's at least going 7 games. You 2 got the Pistons. I got the Knicks. Last series in the East is Pacers Bucks. I feel like Danny believes this would be pretty lopsided, regardless of Dame's impact or not.
Nah, yeah, I think yeah, Pacers in 6.
Pacers in 6. Okay.
think
That's
Dame-
not like
Dame-
I think that's fair.
Well, I think the eyes are on Giannis, right? Like if Dame comes back and then he still gets swept, like they probably Giannis is getting out of there. What's my point?
Fair.
But if they can get 6, or if they come back and win the series, like you get some respect, maybe they can get something going. So, but I do think that the Pacers are the better team. They're kind of mismatch. The Bucks seem to be a thing of the past, in my opinion.
I have the Bucks in 7 games, but I definitely see where you're coming from. I think the craziest thing about this Bucks thing overall is that people were like, "Yeah, but Giannis is about to go on his 2018 LeBron one." I'm like, "Yeah, you don't simply just throw greatest
Best
offensive
season.
postseason of all time on someone's shoulders. That's not really normal." Giannis is great. Giannis is arguably a top 20 player to ever play in the NBA. That's still too much. Especially given his cast. Like I asked Chris, I said, who wins a Dame and Giannis-less Bucks this year or 2018 Cavs without LeBron? The Cavs would probably sweep them or beat them in 5.
Yeah, yes, they beat him in 5, 100%.
Yeah, like
Unless they finally unleash
Kevin Love's like I get the green light again against checks notes Kyle Kuzma. Like, come on.
Unless they let Kevin Porter Jr. get free. Because terrible person, good basketball player. I will say that. He may not.
I don't know. Last game, I think he was just running at the rim and just throwing the ball in the general direction.
Yeah, he got the Kyle Kuzma disease. He literally got sick with it. I saw it going through his veins. He's like, oh, you know what? You got 0 points. Watch this. Let me go get 0 too.
Yeah, that's certainly what it seemed like.
But Ryan Rollins is decent though. Dude makes some decent plays. He's a decent backup. I wouldn't start him.
Yeah, as much of a jack that Kevin Porter is, he has never seen the likes of J.R. Smith. So J.R. Smith with a green light, he's averaging 30.
J.R. Smith is the guy. J.R. Smith averaged 17 points on the team that had Allen Iverson and Carmelo Anthony on it. I want people to know that. That did happen.
And he had one of the all-time great posters.
Yes, and 24 minutes a game, by the way.
We just watched a man fly.
17 points in 24 minutes a game in that era, by the way. Respect J.R. Smith.
But yeah. Chris, where do you stand on this Bucks Pacers series?
I think Dame being out and even coming back, he's not healthy for real. Bobby Portis hasn't really had a chance to reacclimate. I think they're out in 6. I think Giannis is good enough to get you a game. And then I think the supporting cast and Giannis gets another game, but I think the Pacers win in 6.
Yeah, my biggest note from game 1, Giannis, whopping 36 points, 1 assist. Did that say more about not letting anyone else beat you, or people just aren't making their shots? Well, time will tell. Also, something to point out: on the Real app, all the stats reset to your playoff stats, so everything's like flat. Like Kevin Porter Jr. is straight up 12-5-5. Brooke Lopez 9-4-0. Kyle Kuzma 0-0-0. It's rough, man. Tony Snow can now rest. Also, ironically enough, they were both Bucks when they did it. I think Tony Snow was a Buck when he did his. Okay, yeah. Well, that's the East from us to wrap it up. We all got Cavs. We all got Celtics. These 2 got Pistons. I have the Knicks all in 7 games. These 2 have the Pacers. I have the Bucks because I'm buying into the bit that Giannis actually might go on a historic run, and it would be cool. And then they see the Celtics in the conference finals, and the Celtics get the get back. So let's see. We're gonna move to the West.
Start with the easy one. The Thunder versus the Grizzlies. 50-point blowout win in game 1.
Payne Pritchard, 6th man of the year. Let's go. That's the second time in 3 years the Celtics have had the 6th man of the year.
Generational Brown.
Why is the top comment Gabe Vincent robbed? Whatever. Anyway, back to your
He's
point.
back. He got robbed. Gabe Vincent. Shout out Gabe.
I'm sure.
Anyway,
you were talking about the Grizzlies getting back shots.
Yeah, the Grizzlies, they're done for. They got sent to heaven. They're gone. That's what happened in game 1. That's gonna happen in game 2 and 3 and 4 because there's not gonna be a game 5.
Yeah, sadly, I'm gonna have to go Thunder in 4. And that was my pick before, but I was maybe considering Ja gives them a game, but it's like the Thunder are a wagon. Like they are a wagon. They pour it on. They can score in transition. The 3-ball. They have basketball savior and Aaron Wiggins. Yeah.
This is a complete team.
But if Ja could get off a good series, I'd feel great.
A singular good series.
Yes, like averaging 30, whatever.
Yeah,
or like high 20s, something like that.
No big deal.
Yeah, losing effort because you are going out in 4. But
yes, this will be the quickest 4. I get my prediction out the way. 4 games, and it better not be more than 4. I need Shavon say the rest for what's next. But yeah, it's just the Grizzlies. They have too many players to play. You can't play 12 guys and win playoff games, and then you can't go from playing 12 guys and playing 8 and expecting it to work. It just doesn't work like that. So I think they're just in a bad space. I think what's best for them is losing, so they can figure it out from here.
Yeah,
Mike Malone.
Let's move on to the 2-7. 2-7, another series I'm highly anticipating. Rockets Warriors. Warriors got the big win in game 1. Amin Thompson and Jalen Green showed their age a little bit in that game, while Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler are committing war crimes on children. And I honestly think we need to look into it. We need to arrest them, honestly. I don't want to see Steph Curry for the rest of the playoffs.
Arrest them.
Geometrically, that shot should not have went in.
I want Steph Curry to be
what other person is making you say that?
I want Steph Curry drug tested. I want him drug tested tonight. Because not even did the shot going in. Okay, cool. The shot went in.
Not even for PEDs. Cool. He's on crack.
Bro, why? My thing is, why did you shoot it? That's why I want you drug tested. Why? I was drug tested. Why did you shoot it? That was insane.
No, it's truly like no other person is getting away with even attempting that.
Yeah, the attempt will get you set down.
Even if you make it, yeah, bro, you gotta go.
Literally, the attempt gets you.
Hey, you know what's crazy? I know Jalen Green thinks about that shot at least 3 times a game.
Do it. You know who else intrusive thoughts will win? Peyton Pritchard has that in his mind too. He wants one of those. He wants one of those too. I can tell. And I see
his is more like the distance ones more than the leaners, but like ooh.
He wants a far one. Yes.
Yeah. If you give him a reason to shoot like a 35-footer, bro, he's doing it.
It's up there.
And this is kind of a big thanks to Chris, and I'm not like I don't feel too strong about my prediction just based on game 1, but I trust law of averages will bring Jalen Green, back to some shot making. Amin Thompson, I think he'll have a better shooting night. I'm still gonna go Rockets in 7. Maybe not the brightest idea when the other team has the 2 best players in the series, but yeah, I like the Rockets coaching more. I think they got better depth. The just only thing they don't have is star power. Maybe that's the most important thing. However, Alperen Sengun had an amazing game, and he is a star in his own right. And Jalen Green, and this is a big if, and maybe I'm just projecting a little bit, if the shot will fall, he is like a neutralizer. When he can get hot, he can be neutralized. Now, if everybody is hot in this series, that means the Human Torch is hot, and that means Steph Curry's going to average 60. But I don't think that'll be the case. I think Jalen Green's going to have a nice bounce back game tomorrow night. We'll be tied up 1-1 going back to the Bay. I also hope Fred VanVleet, great for the leadership. You need to take less shots, but I have the Rockets at 7. I think they'll bounce back game 2, and that's going to be my pick.
I don't think it's close. I think Warriors win this in 6. I think they're outmatched.
It's not close, but they win in a relatively tough series.
No, I mean, like I don't think it's
six is a tough series.
I don't mean it's. I don't think they're gonna blow them out. I just think it's like I think my decision wasn't close. I didn't think much about the Rockets.
Fairs.
For me, I think that the star power, the experience, the leadership, it all matters in the playoffs. Whether we make jokes about it or not, it does matter. And the Warriors got it, and they have the intangibles to win games. And it just feels like a young team's gonna get routed early, to me.
I think it's a fair way to look at it, especially from the best 2 player standpoint. But I think it's a fair take. It's just like that routed, or like I know the no brainer train of thought, but like routed in a 6-game series. I don't know. It just seems contradictory. Regardless, you got the Warriors. I'm overthinking it. Overthinking masterclass getting done over here. Chris, who did you have for Rockets Warriors? And if you leave me out to dry when you're the one that convinced me,
I have Rockets in 7 still.
Okay. I will call the police.
Yeah, I have Rockets in 7. I think that game, Fred VanVleet, you are a criminal. They found the leader of ISIS.
Send that thing high.
They found the leader of ISIS. If I can put an all go somewhere else team, VanVleet is starting point guard. Mikal Bridges my 2, Jaylen Brown 3, Jaren Jackson power forward, Rudy Gobert 5. But that's for another day.
Sounds like a good All NBA team to me.
It does, low key. But yeah, I just think hopefully I'm putting my faith in Ime getting them ready for the next game and the rest of the series. Kind of let them know that their mistakes, they can't make those same regular season mistakes, or they will end up like that, losing to Steph Curry. So yeah, I still got to win in 7. I think it's going to be a very tough series. I think going into the playoffs, my 2 favorite series were the Pistons, Knicks, and Nuggets, Clippers. I think this is one of my favorites as well. I mean, it is one of my favorites, just not over those 2, but I think it goes 7. I think it's going to be a really, really, really tight series, like back and forth.
Yeah, and just keep going. We'll talk about 3-6, which is the Lakers Wolves, where the Wolves took game 1.
Oh yeah, man. I still have the Lakers in 7 or whatever I had them. I still have Lakers winning. I think. Oh, I'm sorry. I have Lakers in 6 still. The way they lost didn't scare me. LeBron's old, and he looked old that game. But also one thing I learned about LeBron, he don't like being embarrassed. So he knows what people were saying. He knows he looked bad for a good portion of that game, and it made it look bad on Luka because Luka only had 1 assist, so it made the crowd, the crowd that I'm in, the Luka's a ball hog crowd, happy. But when you watch the game, that's not what happened. They just played actually ass, and LeBron led that. I think Stephen A. Smith, which I don't agree with a lot, he said LeBron has to join Luka in being dominant. I agree with that 100%. This is one of those times where that being old won't be an excuse. So yeah, I still got the Lakers winning in 6. I think Austin Reeves comes alive soon because he knows he needs to, and becomes an X factor. And I don't expect the Timberwolves role players to play that well for 7 games. So that's my theory on why I'm going with 6.
Yeah, I'm with that as well, Chris. I think the Lakers win this game in the series in 6. We saw like a best case scenario from the Timberwolves and a worst case from the Lakers.
Yeah. So I'm Lakers in 6 as well. But I do have to question how JJ Redick wants to go about this because everything revolves around the Jason Tatum cycle, I promise. Anthony Edwards was known like, okay, just blitz him. He's never going to make the right read. He can't do it. And then he does it, and the guys just make the shots instead of missing them. Or, there's the opportunity for them to make the play because he's finally making the right reads. So, it's just if JJ Redick wants to choose to let these guys get off open shots and continue to blitz Anthony Edwards, make someone else beat you, that's fine by me. But it's just next series when the guys aren't making the shots, they're like, oh, they only make it against us. Look, it's a law of averages. It happens to everybody. Or the next series, people won't go about it that way. They'll be like, you know what? Anthony Edwards have 40. No one else is beating us, which seems to always be the more effective thing in my eyes. With Jokic, have everything. You will have 2 assists, and you're not going to win. Giannis dropped 37. You have 1 assist. We're not. It will have to be you. I feel like that's always been more effective than making star player. We're going to stop you, but other professional basketball player wide open. He's not going to beat us. It's never made sense to me. But I think if JJ wants to stick with that, I trust him. Again, I love what you guys said. LeBron's got to be more aggressive. LeBron, I don't know how many times you've been told that in your career, but you have to be more aggressive.
Be more dominant and assertive.
Be LeBron. Be LeBron. It's that simple. And another thing,
take a page out of Luka's book.
Another thing to note, Luka had 38 points, 37 points. He had 1 assist. Made someone else, or Luka, have everything you want. If LeBron is not on anything else, you're certainly not beating us. Because LeBron and AR, but I digress. I got Lakers in 6 as well, so not to get too far off the point. Last series, probably all of our absolute favorite series, I would think, outside of Detroit, New York, if that's your favorite. This is my favorite though. Clippers, Nuggets, knotted up last night with a Kawhi Leonard masterclass. I want to say vintage Kawhi. Vintage Kawhi never did this. 15 for 19 from the field, 39 points. Scored 12 points in the fourth quarter. With 3 assists, hit 2 trade balls in the fourth quarter. Just, I mean, truly like the best game I've ever seen him play. I have the Clippers in 7 games. That's where I stand. And it's 7 because Jokic is just the best player in the world. And I think he will be the one to prolong the series along with some Jamal Murray fake stuff going on. But overall, I love the Clippers' talent. And I can't say enough about Chris Dunn. It sucks he's not going to get an All NBA team because of the All Defensive team because of the minutes thing. But he's just been great. And I'm sure y'all saw that one play where he was about to do a spin around the screen, but it never came. So he almost got in a back pedal and then T-stepped back to Jamal. I don't even know. He literally looked like a defensive back. It was great. But shout out those guys. I got them winning in 7. Also, shout out James Harden. He was the only person with substantial minutes with a negative plus minus. But it's not all about the box score, baby.
Yeah, I also have the Clippers in 7. I
Cold.
was leaning Clippers in 6, but I think you convinced me with Jokic
getting it done in front of the wall. That'd be fire.
Right, first year that would be cinema.
Peak.
It would be peak. I'm afraid.
I'm gonna need to get out there into a dome.
You want to go to the Intuit Dome?
That's
like Inglewood, right?
Yeah, Inglewood's not like the best area, but
fair.
It's not as bad as it used to be like in the 90s, but it's definitely not that you go on purpose.
Yeah,
if you don't have to. Definitely you go on purpose.
He said it's not a place you go on purpose.
If your GPS gets you there, you can get out. But I wouldn't say hey, let's go hang out. I wouldn't advise that. I'll keep it quick though. Mine is 7 games too. I have the Clippers in 7. Like I said, these one of my favorites here. I think there's a lot of high level basketball players in this series. And I think it's just Jokic will get it to 7, but I think Kawhi and James just being 2 actual superstars and not one superstar and one, not even an all-star, but when the playoffs come, I'm apparently the best player in the world to some people. No shade, Jamal Murray. Sorry.
The Clippers have the real talent.
The Clippers have the best team probably altogether in the playoffs, not named Oklahoma City or Boston has the better top 7, but just better team-wise, I would probably pick the Clippers, and they have the better players, but I think the Clippers probably one of the teams in the NBA.
And the Clippers have they have this Celtic stopper.
Yeah, and they found a way to not found a way, but they did what I said should have been done with Ben Simmons once his back was terrible. They just play him at backup center to where he doesn't have to do anything but be by the basket and defend, which is what he's good at. So
yeah, Chris knows what I'm talking about. Ben Simmons, Celtic stopper.
Ben Simmons, Celtic stopper. I'm so sure.
Shout out my boy.
Like the definition opposite of that.
Tatum stopper.
I'm sure.
What's Jaylen Brown's nickname so I can combine it with something with Ben Simmons? so I can make
Jaylen
it
Brown's nickname. I don't think he really has one.
Generational
JB.
Brown.
J. That's crazy. We just
You
call
go-
him
we go-
JB. We
call him
tried for the
Jen Brown.
Genesis a little bit, which I thought was really good, but just never stuck.
So I think I'll go with JTBH.
JTBH, JT's biggest hater.
There you go. That's my fave right there. Four
It's so
letters
crazy
the
because
same.
like they're not like. I swear he not like. I never thought that. Like I've always been on team like all their friends. Like Deuce thinks of him as an uncle.
I
Like
think
they're
they're
real
legit friends
close.
though. I think they're
But
legit
on the
friends.
basketball court,
That's the only play I'm talking about. Only
or
place.
Jaylen Brown in interviews this year has been really weird. He was talking about something. He's like, at some point, like, one of us, something had to give. So, like I took a back seat, but he made it seem in a way. It's like he was calling Jason. I feel like in a way he was calling Jason Tatum immature for not wanting to be second fiddle. But it's like he is more talented. He's more innately talented than you.
Better college career, better player. Why would I take a back seat? That literally
Actually no.
makes zero
Jaylen
sense.
Brown was drafted first.
I mean, no, I'm talking about like pick wise, as far as like what pick they went.
Well, they both went 3 technically, but Brown. Well, Tatum was 1 on Ainge's board.
You're right.
But like if he were to pick him at 1, it's like, oh, I got to pay you like a couple $1 million more.
I forgot that how it went down on draft night. GG's Lakers, good job.
Fultz went 1, and the world told the Lakers to take Ball at 2.
Shout my boy Markel,
aka LeVar. Look, Markel wasn't the wrong pick. Like, ask anybody. You would know.
They broke Markel Fultz, man. They broke him. He got to the NBA.
I think he got a motorcycle accident.
Well,
that's my main theory. But
it ended Jason Williams' career, so happy it didn't end his. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, enough about Jaylen Brown being a hater. I have the Clippers in 7. We all have Clippers in 7.
Generational Brown. Yep.
What generational Brown? I found that meme. I don't even remember how long ago, and I was at a bar and I was like sneaky, like in a I went nonverbal. I'm not gonna lie for a little bit, and then I saw that, dude. You'd have thought I was the funniest person in there, because I was in the greatest mood ever. It was hilarious.
Also, Pacers are up 10 already.
Okay. For Giannis, send him to Boston.
Man, they have 20. Dude, the Pacers have 23 points in the first 6 minutes of the game.
Because they get up and down, like they just defy the laws of playoff basketball at this rate. Like they just get up and down. Like they play at a pace that isn't normal for playoff basketball.
They play college basketball pace.
They play Alabama hoops, dude. Like not even college. Like college don't get up and down like this. SEC does, but besides Florida dictates pace really well. But anyway, that's everything from us today. Remember, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on audio, remember to leave a like, follow the show, 5-star review, download the episode, all that good stuff to push the algorithm. AP New Freezer, Coulter by Migos, DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week.